What is up, guys? Fado82 coming at you with a weekly Rust update video. As you can see in front of you, the first iteration of farming has been added into Rust. There are now two types of crops that you can plant and harvest. They are pumpkins and corn. If you're curious about how to find these items, they're growing randomly throughout the seed that you're playing on, so you have to hunt for them. But once you find a pumpkin or a piece of corn, you can go ahead and eat it. It will then yield about 4 seeds, which you can equip in your hotbar and then place on the ground, and these items will start growing. We have upped the growth rate on the dev server here to sort of show off how they take shape. They will grow at a much slower rate in the normal game. In terms of the pumpkins and the corn, they'll give you back some of your health, some of your hydration, and your food as well. From doing some initial testing, the corn seems to have a better value for it in terms of restoring health than pumpkins, and that's something that might change in the future. How these crops grow is different depending on what biome you place them in, and each particular pumpkin and piece of corn is said to have its own genetic makeup. So that's going to determine how well it's going to thrive and survive. With that being said, they generally do better in the forest biome, especially in these dirt patches. They don't grow too well in the Arctic biome, and they don't grow at all at night, so keep that in mind. Alright guys, let's go ahead and take a look at a time lapse on this to see how these take shape. And while we're on the subject of crops, let's go ahead and talk about everybody's favorite crop, which is hemp. It's been in the game for a while now, but if you go ahead and find a hemp plant and hit E, you can actually harvest cloth from it, and it gives you about 20 cloth per plant. I'm not sure if we'll be able to grow them in the future, but with the iteration of farming, we very well might see vast hemp fields popping up in the future. And 2 new items have been added into the game in this iteration of Rust. The first is called a Boda Bag, which is a small water skin that's used to transport liquid. When hydration becomes more of a necessity, this is going to be a vital item to have. Right now it's not that big of a deal, but if you want to craft yourselves one, it's 100 cloth, 30 animal fat, and it is a default blueprint. Next up we have the wolf headdress, which we've been waiting for a long time, ever since we saw it. It looks stunning. It costs 100 cloth, 1 wolf skull, and it's a default blueprint, so you can craft it right from the get-go. Let's go ahead and take a look at this bad boy. This is what the wolf headdress looks like on a player model. It's a stunning piece of gear and it looks amazing. It's a wolf skin that looks like it was taken right off a wolf and stitched together. And the dynamics of raiding have once again shifted in this iteration of Rust. 2 C4 charges will now get you through a stone wall again, and it will take 3 charges to get through an armored tier wall. Raiding with tools, however, is still going to be largely ineffective and a difficult process, so if you're using pickaxes or hand tools on an outer facing wall, it's going to take quite a long time to get through those walls. This is a step in the right direction, and I think it's a good balancing act. It does put a bit of a barrier to entry to raiding, and it makes it so that if you want to invest the time and resources into making C4 or rockets, you're still going to be able to use them and have a good time with it. In the past week, we saw a lack of raiding because the cost of the resources and the investment was just too high for the reward that it would yield. So this is going to bring it back to where it was, and I think it's going to be a happy medium. Also, some other things to note with this week's patch is the stability mechanics have changed. You shouldn't see any more floating buildings, and the decay rate has upped as well, so buildings should decay at a faster rate, which will help the entity counts on the larger servers like Rustopia. As always, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it. This is Fado82. Peace.